everyone has fitness goals. Everyone goes to the gym. Everyone has a gym membership. But the truth is that most people will stay out of shape. And it's got nothing to do with the program, the split, the diet. That does help. But there's a lot of stuff under the surface that if you don't address it, become aware of it and change it, you're just going to go back into the same loop. You're going to try the next program, save it to your camera roll, try it again, and then remain in that loop. So in this video, we're going to go over a few ways you can actually make a change that lasts, because there's no use having a new program or a new split if you're still the same person, if you still see yourself as someone who's out of shape, if you still have those bad habits around the gym. So
the first issue is that most people build their fitness around how they feel. You know, are they feeling motivated to go to the gym, or do they feel like eating healthy, or do they feel like going for a walk? But the thing is, if you keep waiting until you feel ready, you're never going to see actual progress, because consistency is built on showing up when you don't feel like it. And if you're only waiting for motivation all the time, you're never going to see these actual results that you want, because motivation in and of itself is unstable. It's not something that's going to keep coming all the time, and certainly not enough to see the results that you have in your goals. So.
Yeah, it needs to become a non-negotiable to a certain degree. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, you know, just white knuckle motivation, just do the work regardless of how you feel. But it gets to a point where, like, you need to become aware of the feeling. Okay, I don't want to do this thing right now. And do it anyway. Like, every action you take, you're casting a vote for the type of person you wish to become. It's the quote from James Clear. So, do you solidify the identity of someone who stays on the couch and is someone who is lazy, the type of person who is lazy? Or do you solidify the identity of someone who does the work regardless of how he feels? Is a gym goer, is an athlete? Like, yes, there's going to be a feeling there. I don't feel like it. But it gets to a point where you just do it anyway. And soon enough, you just do it. Like, what did Bob Proctor say? One of his quotes as well. You only have to do it until you want to, and then you don't have to any longer. Because it becomes a habit and you just want to do it again and again and again. You see the bicep pain, you see the visible abs, you see the changes, you feel better after the meal, and then you just keep doing it.
And that's the thing, is real progress comes from making your habits automatic rather than emotional, based on when you feel like it. And that there are 4 laws that James Clear talks about in his book, Atomic Habits, that can really help you to design your environment in such a way and structure your training and whatever your perfect plan is in such a way that you can actually stick with it and not just do it when you can't be bothered. Now, the first one is all about making it obvious. And the idea is that if the thing that you want to do is out of sight, it is out of mind. You need to make it visible. So for example, if you want to go to the gym more often, you need to keep your gym bag somewhere where you can see it. Or if you want to eat healthy food, make the healthy food what you see when you open the fridge. And any unhealthy snacks and things, just don't buy them. But if you've got them in your house, because maybe you live with other people, keep them somewhere where they are out of your sight. You need to prime your environment to trigger the thoughts about things that you want to do. You want to read more books? Put a book on your pillow before you go to sleep at night. Don't just leave it in your cupboard or somewhere where you're not going to see it.
Set yourself up for success. Like what Mosey's quote, like, create an environment that makes it impossible for you to fail. Unreasonable for you not to succeed. Like, if there's anything in your environment that takes you away from your goal, you should remove it. Like, I know there's going to be some things that, you know, you might like to have in, but if you, I don't know, if you really want a goal, if you really want that outcome, if there's anything that takes you away from that, like, why have it?
And the second law is all about making it attractive. So if the thing that you want to do feels like a punishment, you will not continue to do it. So there are a few ways that you can do this with things like going to the gym. It can be, a lot of the time it's about temptation bundling. So associate the thing that you don't really want to do, like going to the gym, with something that you do really want to do. So whether that be listening to music of a playlist that you keep just for the gym, that's music that you really like, or going to the gym with somebody else can be really, really helpful. Or if it's something like going for a walk, listen to a podcast that you like, or if you're doing your meal prep, watch YouTube or Netflix or something that you want to watch at the same time, because it creates that association where, you know, you're making it feel like something you enjoy because you're associating it with something that you do genuinely enjoy. Now the next law is all about making it easy. So this is the part that a lot of people struggle with. You need to reduce the friction between you and doing the thing that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if you really want to eat healthy, but that requires you to go to the shops and get a whole bunch of ingredients and then cook for 30 minutes, you're probably not going to eat healthy all the time. This is why people do meal prep. You make the one day, you make a hard decision on a Sunday that you're going to dedicate an hour and a half to doing meal prep. And then for the whole rest of the week, to eat healthy, all you have to do is go into your fridge and grab some food. And it's like, really easy.
Yeah, it's like the intention behavior gap. It's like what you intend to do and what your behavior reflects, and with these things, like trying to get them as closely in alignment with each other as possible. Your intention and behavior being completely aligned. So yeah, meal prepping helps with that. You know, if you're going for a walk, like you can listen to an audiobook, or you can scroll while doing it. Still, you can get your screen time in while walking. There's ways around it. Walk more.
But the thing is, if it feels too hard or too long, or like it's too much effort, or it has to be too perfect, you won't keep doing it. So the idea is really, as much as you can, lowering that barrier so that it's not so difficult. And I'm not talking about like, you know, working out in the gym is not easy, because it's not, and it shouldn't be. But you don't want to choose a gym that's 35 minutes away and then you have to do that whole big drive before you get there. You know, you want it to be easy, so you choose somewhere close. Now the next part is all about making it satisfying. The idea is that what is rewarded is repeated. So if there is nothing that makes the habit instantly satisfying, you're not going to keep doing it. There needs to be some kind of immediate payoff so that your brain associates it as something that is worth the effort. So for going to the gym, endorphins is a big part of that. But essentially, you need to find some way to make any good habit feel instantly satisfying. That's why people use things like habit trackers.
Whoops and the step trackers, habit trackers, all that stuff where you can see the bar go up and you've got 13,000 steps for the day or something like that. There's that immediate reward, because the truth is, between being out of shape and being in shape, there is time there. There is weeks and there is months, potentially years for some people there. And if you don't see any like change, if there's no reward between there, there's no reason to continue, right? This is why a lot of people fall off, why they quit, because they're like, I'm not seeing any changes. But these, like I guess micro goals or whatever, like mini things help with that. The step tracker, the Whoop, the habit trackers, whatever.
Even just noticing as you're getting stronger and feeling better can be really, really helpful. It's a massive one,
like feeling healthier.
And it's also why people do coaching, is because, you know, when you have someone there who's cheering you on every step of the way with every little success, that is really satisfying, creates the reward and makes it something that you want to keep doing. But compliments,
encouragement, all that stuff is like, you keep going, yeah.
But the goal is not to have perfect habits that's like super ideal. It's for ones that you can repeat. So, you know, if you are a really busy person, maybe it isn't realistic from the start for you to be going to the gym 5 or 6 times a week. Maybe you can only commit to 3 or 4 times. But if you make that a commitment that you stick to every single time, that's a lot better than trying to go 6 times a week but then falling off in the first week and just never going back again.
Also, like, another thing on making it like attractive, like making it desirable, is having your reasons, like having your whys. This is just something I see a lot with people, is you want to get in shape, right? Like you want to get in shape, but like why do you actually want to get in shape? Every single person probably, like majority of people want to get in shape, but the clearer your why is, the clearer your reasons are, the more clarity you have on why you're doing it, the easier and more intentional are your processes, you know, your meals, your gym, and all that stuff. Your processes become a lot more intentional when your why, your reasons, and also your vision is clear. But if your vision is you know, vague, you don't really have a clear vision, you have a clear why, that's where inconsistency can stem from. So get clear on it.
to summarize, having a perfect plan is great if you can stick to it, which the thing is that you can't. You're much, much better off having a plan that you can stick to and sticking to it. You will see so much more progress and it'll actually get you to your goals.
That's it. Hope you got something out of that. If you did, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.